Hello everyone, and welcome to my presentation of the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or the MBTI. The Myers-Briggs Type Indicator is one of many personality tests out there, and is perhaps one of the most well-known. According to the Myers-Briggs Company, the MBTI is one of the world's most popular personality tools because it works. Used by more than 88% of Fortune 500 companies in 115 countries and available in 29 different languages, it has become the go-to framework for people development globally, according to the Myers-Briggs Company 2021. This assessment specifically looks at a person's scores within 4 pairs of subjects. Those pairs are 1. Extroversion versus introversion, 2. Sensing versus intuition, 3. Thinking versus feeling, and 4. Judging versus perceiving. The MBTI was created by a woman known as Catherine Briggs, who was greatly inspired by the work of Carl Jung, and Isabel Myers further developed the test. Following her death, the research and development were led by the Myers-Briggs Company. The original test was developed in 1943 and has been updated and developed over the years as more research has been done and the use of the test spread throughout the world. By 1977, the first commercial use of the MBTI was released, and in 20 years, a European version of the assessment was released following extensive research. In 2018, an international revision was made to the assessment to make it more accessible to the world, according to the Myers-Briggs Company. With the extensive revisions and research, it can become apparent how valuable and applicable this assessment can be across cultures and time. The MBTI assessment can be used for many different things, but it is most helpful in understanding one's strengths and trouble areas. It can also be used in group settings to help workforces, teammates, classmates, and much more figure out how to collaborate better and use each other's strengths. It can be beneficial in handling challenges such as communication, handling conflict, managing change, making decisions, being a leader, or even changing careers. One of the positive aspects of this assessment is how the results are given to the client. Rather than having a simple scale where one side is better than the other, the descriptors for both sides are used in a neutral sense to give a positive light for either side. As it comes with any assessment, another critical aspect of this process is the explanation of the results and what steps are appropriate to take afterward once we have this information. The Myers-Briggs Company states that when people stop, once they get their results, it can lead to labeling and misinterpretation of what their results really could mean. This process is merely meant to be a stepping stone of exploration and awareness in their journey of understanding themselves. As with any assessment, there are always ethical and legal guidelines throughout the testing process. To begin, we will examine some of the ethical codes that bind this process together. There are numerous codes out there, and you should use the one most directly in line with your specialty, place of business, and theoretical orientation. As such, professionals from many fields such as psychology, education, social work, medicine, and law use the MBTI instrument. In addition, individuals eligible or certified to administer the MBTI instrument may belong to one or more organizations with a code of ethics specific to that profession or discipline, according to the Center for Applications of Psychological Type. For this application, we will examine the American Counseling Association's Code of Ethics from 2014. This paper will primarily examine those codes within sections B and E of this ethical book. Section B is primarily on confidentiality and the privacy of the client. As this is an assessment, it is inherent that the counselor will be obtaining information of a sort from the client and therefore will be bound by certain confidentiality standards. Section E is primarily focused on the specifics inherent of assessments as far as how they are meant to be stored, how they are meant to be processed, and how they are meant to be given. Whenever considering any form of assessment, it is always crucial to understand whether the test is reliable and valid in its results whenever considering using an assessment with any form of client. The MBTI, as previously stated, has had numerous revisions over the years since the early 40s. The current forms that are used are titled Form M and Form Q. Both forms operate off of item response theory-based scoring and item selection. According to the Myers-Briggs Company, Form M is based on a nationally representative sample of 3,009 people and has an internal consistency reliability of 0.9 or greater. Form Q is based on a nationally representative sample of 1,378 people with a median internal consistency of 0.77 for the 20 different facets that build into the four-letter combination within this test. While specific numbers for the validity of this exam were not available from the Myers-Briggs company, it was stated by the website, as mentioned earlier, that validity for both forms have been examined through numerous reviews, such as behavioral observations, exploratory and confirmatory fact analysis, correlations with related measures, and even brain scans. The MBTI is known as a restricted assessment tool. As in such, it requires set qualifications and certifications to be able to administer it to others. A practitioner must be trained in the use and interpretation of the instrument through previous academic study or by taking courses designed specifically to meet MBTI certification guidelines. This according to the Myers and Briggs Foundation. There are several different certifications for different versions of this assessment. However, all of them are through the same sources of the Myers-Briggs Foundation or the Center for Application of Psychological Testing. For those interested in becoming certified, you can now become certified online, and the pricing is around $2,500 depending on the one you are taking, and is also a multiple day certification of various trainings. As stated in the previous slide, the MBTI is available to be taken online or with paper and is administered by a certified professional. The MBTI is a self-taken assessment where the client will be able to either read the questions online and answer them to the best of their abilities, or read them on paper and write the answers down on the paper and pencil. Also available through the Myers-Briggs Company, the CPI, or the California Psychological Inventory, is another self-taken personality inventory that specializes in narrowing down leadership qualities and can be particularly useful in business situations and leadership skills. As always, thank you very much for listening to my presentation on the Myers-Briggs Personality Type Indicator. Here are my works cited, and thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day.